In the journey of life, friends play a pivotal role. They're the ones we turn to in times of joy and sorrow, the ones with whom we share our deepest secrets and wildest dreams. But not all friendships are created equal, and unfortunately, some can turn toxic over time. Recognizing the signs of a bad friend is crucial for maintaining your emotional well-being and fostering healthy relationships. In this video, we'll explore 7 common signs that may indicate you're dealing with a bad friend. Understanding these 7 signs can serve as red flags, prompting you to reassess the dynamics of your friendships and take steps to protect yourself from negative influences. Whether you're navigating the complexities of existing friendships or forging new connections, being aware of these signs can help you cultivate meaningful, supportive relationships that enrich your life rather than detract from it. So, let's delve into the 7 signs of bad friends and explore strategies for handling these challenging situations with grace and self-respect. Number 1. Talking trash behind your back. Discovering that someone you consider a friend is talking negatively about you behind your back can be a painful revelation. It's a betrayal that cuts deep, leaving you feeling vulnerable and questioning the authenticity of the relationship you thought you shared. At first, it might feel like a punch to the gut, a mixture of shock, disbelief, and hurt. You may find yourself replaying past conversations and interactions, searching for signs that you missed, trying to make sense of how things could have taken such a sour turn. The betrayal stings even more because it comes from someone you trusted, someone you believed had your back. It's a reminder that not everyone has your best interests at heart, and that sometimes, even those closest to you can let you down. In the aftermath, you're faced with a choice: confront the friend and address the issue head-on, or quietly distance yourself and move on. Both options come with their own set of challenges and uncertainties. Confrontation requires courage and vulnerability, and there's no guarantee that it will lead to resolution or closure. On the other hand, distancing yourself may offer a sense of self-preservation, but it also means letting go of a relationship that once meant something to you. Regardless of which path you choose, it's important to prioritize your own well-being and self-respect. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, who value your friendship and treat you with the respect you deserve. Remember that you are not defined by the words of others, especially those spoken behind your back. Your worth is not determined by someone else's opinion of you. Hold your head high, stay true to yourself, and trust that the right people will recognize your worth and appreciate you for who you are. And, in his book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey mentioned those who gossip with you will gossip about you when you are not around. Number 2. They throw you under the bus. Being thrown under the bus by a friend is a deeply unsettling experience. It's a betrayal of trust, a breach of loyalty that can leave you feeling blindsided and hurt. You thought you could rely on this person, confide in them, and share your successes and failures with them. But when the going gets tough, they're quick to distance themselves from any wrongdoing and point the finger squarely at you. It's a lonely feeling, standing there as your friend shifts blame onto you, sacrificing your reputation or well-being to save themselves. You can't help but wonder what happened to the bond you thought you shared, the mutual support and understanding that friendship is supposed to be built on. In the aftermath, you're left grappling with a mix of emotions: anger, disappointment, perhaps even a sense of betrayal. You may find yourself questioning the authenticity of the friendship and a false hope of camaraderie. So, how do you navigate such a situation? Do you confront your friend and demand an explanation, hoping for some semblance of accountability? Or do you quietly distance yourself, realizing that this friendship may not be as genuine as you once believed? There are no easy answers, no one-size-fits-all solution. True friendship is built on trust, loyalty, and mutual respect, not on throwing each other under the bus when the going gets tough. It may take time to heal from the wounds inflicted by this betrayal, but in the end, you'll emerge stronger and wiser. And perhaps, in time, you'll find new friends who value your friendship as much as you value theirs, creating bonds that are truly built to last. Number 3. They call you just for favors. It's a scenario that many of us have experienced at some point: the friend who only seems to call when they need something. It might start innocently enough, a favor here, a favor there. But over time, you begin to notice a pattern. Every time your phone rings and it's that friend's name flashing on the screen, you can't help but feel a twinge of frustration. You answer, of course, because that's what friends do. But there's a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach, knowing that the conversation will inevitably lead to another request. Maybe it's borrowing money, or help moving apartments, or even just a ride somewhere. Whatever it is, it's always something that benefits them and leaves you feeling drained. You start to wonder if they even value your friendship at all, or if you're just a convenient resource to be tapped into whenever they need something. It's a lonely feeling, realizing that the bond you thought you shared with this person is actually quite one-sided. A true friendship is built on mutual respect, support, and genuine care for one another, not just on what one person can get out of the other. Number 4. Ever received a compliment that didn't quite feel like one? It's like they're saying something nice on the surface, but underneath, there's a hint of criticism and jealousy. They'll tell you how much you're doing, but with a tone that suggests they expected even more from you. It's subtle, almost like they're trying to hide their envy behind a thin veil of praise. They'll point out all the things you've accomplished, but it's laced with an underlying tone of disappointment, as if they're saying, "I expected better from you." You start to wonder, why can't they just be happy for you? Why do they have to make you feel like you're not doing enough, even when you're giving it your all? It's like they're trying to bring you down a notch, to remind you that you're not as great as you think you are. And the worst part is, they do it all with a smile on their face, as if they're genuinely happy for you. But deep down, you can sense the resentment, the jealousy simmering just below the surface. It's a frustrating feeling, knowing that someone you thought was your friend is secretly hoping for your failure. You start to second guess yourself, wondering if maybe they're right, if maybe you're not as good as you thought you were. But then you remember that their opinion doesn't define your worth. You know how hard you've worked to get to where you are, and you refuse to let anyone else's jealousy bring you down. You'll keep doing your best, proving them wrong with every success. Because at the end of the day, their backhanded compliments say more about them than they do about you. Number 5. Ever been in a conversation where it feels like you're the only one talking, but no one's really listening? It's like you're pouring your heart out, but all they can think about is themselves. They go on and on about their own lives, never bothering to ask how you're doing or what's going on with you. It's exhausting, feeling like you're invisible, like your thoughts and feelings don't matter. You try to steer the conversation back to something you can both talk about, but they just keep bringing it back to themselves. It's like they're trapped in their own little bubble, oblivious to everything else going on around them. And you start to wonder, do they even care about anyone besides themselves? It's a lonely feeling, being stuck with someone who's so self-absorbed. You start to question whether you even want to be friends with them anymore. After all, friendship is supposed to be a two-way street, right? But with them, it feels more like you're just along for the ride, listening to them talk about themselves ad nauseum. You try to remind yourself that maybe they just don't realize how one-sided they're being. Maybe they're going through something and they need someone to listen to them. But it's hard to keep making excuses for them when all you want is for them to show a little interest in you for a change. So you sit there, nodding along as they go on and on about themselves, feeling more and more invisible with each passing minute. And you can't help but wonder, is this what friendship is supposed to feel like? Lonely, one-sided, and completely exhausting? Number 6. Ever felt like you're constantly questioning whether your friends are really on your side? It's like they're only there for you when it's convenient for them. They talk behind your back when it suits them, like they're just waiting for the right moment to betray you. You've sacrificed so much for them, but it feels like they've forgotten all about it. They don't seem to understand the concept of sacrifice, or maybe they just don't care. It's like they're keeping score of who owes who what, instead of just being there for each other when it matters most. But why does it have to be like this? Why can't they see that friendship is about more than just keeping track of who did what for who? It's about loyalty, about being there for each other through thick and thin. It's a painful realization, knowing that the people you thought were your friends are more concerned with their own interests than yours. It makes you wonder if true friendship even exists, or if it's just a fantasy we're all chasing after. But deep down, you know that real friendship is out there somewhere. You just have to keep believing, keep searching, and never settle for anything less than true loyalty and genuine care. Because in the end, that's what friendship is all about. Number 7. Holding you back from being your best self. Imagine feeling like you're never good enough, like you're constantly held back from being your best self. That's the reality for some of us, especially when we don't have good friends by our side. Good friends, they're supposed to be there for you through thick and thin, right? But what if you realize that you don't have those kinds of friends? Instead of lifting you up, they drag you down. When things get tough, they're nowhere to be found. And when they do show up, it's only to criticize you, to tell you that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not cool enough. They don't feed you when you're hungry or wrap you in warmth when you're cold. They only care about themselves. You start to wonder, what's wrong with me? Why can't I find friends who truly care? You feel alone, like you're fighting a battle all by yourself. And when you finally muster up the courage to stand up for yourself, they turn their backs on you. It's heartbreaking to realize that the people you thought were your friends were never really there for you. They don't want the best for you, they just want to see you fail. And that hurts more than anything. So you're left wondering, what's the point? Why even bother trying to make friends when all they do is hurt you? It's a lonely, sad feeling, knowing that you don't have anyone to turn to, anyone who truly cares about you. But maybe, just maybe, there's hope. Maybe someday you'll find real friends, the kind who will stand by you no matter what. Until then, you're left with the pain of knowing that the people you thought were your friends were never really there for you. And that's a tough pill to swallow. As we conclude our exploration of the 7 signs of bad friends, it's important to remember that friendship is a two-way street built on trust, respect, and mutual support. While encountering challenges in friendships is inevitable, being able to recognize when those relationships become unhealthy or toxic is essential for your well-being. If you've identified any of these signs in your friendships, know that you're not alone. Trust your instincts and don't hesitate to take action to protect yourself and cultivate positive relationships. Whether it's setting boundaries, having honest conversations, or even parting ways with toxic individuals, prioritizing your emotional health is paramount. Additionally, remember that being a good friend starts with being a good friend to yourself. Surround yourself with people who uplift and empower you, who celebrate your successes and stand by you during difficult times. Invest in relationships that bring out the best in you and encourage your personal growth. Thank you for making it this far. If you like this video, please share it with a friend in need. Thank you, and as always, stay blessed.